Hiya, welcome to Yoga for Fibromyalgia. My name is Sarah and I'm a yoga teacher living with and healing fibromyalgia. Today's class is a restorative yoga practice for stiff shoulders. And in this practice, I'm going to use all kinds of props, cushions, maybe a couple of blocks, maybe a blanket and a chair. So if you've got any of those props handy, go ahead and grab them and I'll see you there. Great, so before we start our postures, let's just come into any comfortable seat, doesn't matter what it looks like, just to sit up tall for a moment, wherever we are. And I forgot to mention, we can totally practice this class in bed. So maybe we're sitting up on the bed or in a chair. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out, and as you settle in to your body, to your practice, maybe setting an intention today. One more deep breath in and out. And slowly open the eyes. Okay, so if you've got a couple of cushions or blocks or bolster cushion, then you want to use this for this supine heart opener. If you've got a bolster cushion, you can just place that out long. I'm going to use a cushion here for behind my chest. Or maybe I'll use that one for my head and I'll use a block for my chest. So you can play around here. You can use different sizes. You can use 2 blocks. You can use just a folded cushion. So you really need to experiment. So that's what restorative yoga is all about. So when we think we've got our setup, we'll start to lie down. Put the block behind the chest and another cushion maybe for the head. We can relax the legs out long and see how we feel. So it might feel different, it might even feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it won't be painful. That's the important thing. And the discomfort will go with some deep breaths. So I would like you to begin to relax body and mind, because we're going to stay here for about 2.5 minutes. So completely begin to relax. Maybe you've decided something's not working, go ahead and change whatever it is. Maybe change the cushion, change the hairstyle, and change the arms maybe. Sometimes the arms up overhead is really nice. And I'll leave you in some silence. Just breathing in, fully expanding the chest and ribs. Nowhere else to be. Let's take one last deep breath in here. And a long breath out. Releasing the arms, rolling all the way onto the side. Remove any props. And maybe you want to keep the prop under your head, depending how you feel when you lay down. And just rest. Imagine the shoulders sinking into the ground with every exhale, the legs, the arms, the whole body grounding, relaxing. Great. The next thing we're going to do is bring our left leg slightly more towards the right side and kind of move the body over a little bit. And then we're going to bring the right leg crossed over and allow the hip to go ahead and fall to the side. Imagine both feet are pushing up against an imaginary wall and the toes are facing over to the left side. Now I'm going to start to bring my upper body, I think I'll bring my cushion with me as well, my upper body over to the left side, keep shuffling, and then I'm going to stretch my arms out. So if you know revolved triangle pose, this is that pose, but lying down on the back. So my left hand is moving as if I want to grab my toes, and my right arm is going up to what would be the sky if we were practicing this in standing. So notice the stretch taking place in the right shoulder. Readjust if something's not working for you. You might want to gaze up to the right fingers and beyond. And again, remember your feet pushing into that wall. Now, if you have a wall, go ahead and actually use it. I just didn't to make it easier for filming this video. And we're going to rest here for about 2 more minutes. So deep breaths. Try and ensure both shoulders are on the floor evenly. So there's a twist happening here in the thoracic spine. And allow the jaw to soften. The face, the arms, the whole body. Go for one more deep inhale. And long exhale. And we'll slowly bring the upper body back to center. Shuffling. And uncross the legs and come back to resting pose, Shavasana. Take a couple of breaths and notice how you feel. Notice any difference on the 2 sides of the body. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So bring the right leg over to the right side. And then the left leg crossing over. Okay, and then we're going to move our upper body over to the right side, just like we did on the other side. The right hand reaching down to grab the leg. The left arm all the way up. Take your time. You don't have to come into the pose immediately. You might keep the hand on the thigh. And you don't have to look up here to the left hand. You can look straight ahead, or you can even look down. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor. Let's take a big deep breath in. And a long breath out. Let's shuffle back to center. Uncross the legs and come back to Shavasana, resting pose. Notice how the body feels. Notice the left side. Notice the right side. Notice the shoulders. And then we'll slowly roll onto one side, any side. And slowly come up. Great. So to prepare for our next pose, we need, if you have bolster cushions, perfect. I don't have them. So I'm going to kind of experiment. We're going to do a side bending pose. So I'm going to bring my chair a little bit forwards. Great. Because as we reach over, we maybe grab onto the chair. So I'm going to try this one. Maybe I'll try some of these other cushions. So whatever you've got, give it a try. Laying down over the cushion. Oh yeah, that's quite good. And then you can use your arm as a rest. Or that blanket. You place that blanket down. Oh yeah. For the head. Great. And then the left arm swoops all the way out to the chair. Now I could just rest here on the chair. And if we want more, we'll hold onto something where there's a bit of resistance, maybe the back of the chair legs. Yeah. When you find your spot, you just know. So like I said, a bolster cushion is really great, ideal. I really need to buy one. But I'm just making do with what I've got at the moment, which is always good. Okay, so again, don't be afraid to change it up. If something doesn't feel right, you're not stuck here. Go ahead and get up and change the cushion to something else, change the blanket. I might take my glasses off actually. And then when you find it, when you find your pose, you can rest. Let's take one last big inhale in together. And a long exhale. Swoop the arm back down and slowly come up so we can switch sides. Maybe just take a pause in center. And we'll switch. Let's take one last deep inhale in. And a long breath out. Slowly come up. Back to a seat. And notice. Notice how you feel. Notice the arms. Notice the whole body. Maybe some organic movements. Great, moving on. This next pose is a great little variation of camel pose. So if we've got sensitive knees, we can go ahead and place another cushion, folded blanket down. And if we'd like to sit up on a cushion, a bolster cushion works great here. We're going to come onto our knees with the bolster cushion underneath, or a block works as well. And then we bring the chair forward, or maybe you bring the chair forward first. Okay. I'm going to use a block for under my head, if my head goes that far. I'm not actually sure. We need to just try it out and see. And maybe we want a cushion or something so the back of the chair is more comfy. So the idea here is that we're going to start to open up the chest, open. Try looking forward if you can. Don't worry about the camera. Slightly bring the chin down and then bring the arms up, and maybe we can come back towards the chair. Rest the head down and hold onto the chair somewhere. So notice how this feels. No pain or pinching, total comfort. So if it's not comfortable, then we need to figure out something. So let's have a look. What can we do? Maybe the chair is too high and we need to change the chair. There's lots of different things we can do. And if you've got a friend to help you, that's always nice. So they can see what you might need. I'm going to bring the chair even closer. This works quite nicely, holding onto the bottom of the chair. And I might just turn the block up. There we go. Okay, when you find it, begin to rest. Let's take a long, deep in. A long breath in. You can tell I'm getting a bit zen. And a long breath out. We'll slowly come up. Arrive in center. Perhaps you'd like to come off the knees. And we'll move the chair in a second. Let's just have a breath or two in center. Notice where you feel energy whirling around your body. Prana, life force, life-giving energy flowing to your shoulder cells, to your chest, to your upper back, to your neck. Even around my legs feel energized. Just notice. Maybe a little bit of discomfort in the back, when the back's not used to these kind of stretches, but that's okay. Maybe you want to do a few hip circles or any movement, but keep it gentle. Fabulous. So we'll move the chair out of the way and come into our last pose. For this pose you can use 2 blocks, one for the feet and one for the pelvis. You can move this little guy out the way. For the pelvis one, you take that in your hand, come all the way down. Okay. If you have a block or, if you have a strap, can be nice to place this around the thigh. So I've already looped mine. If you want, it's not really necessary, but kind of keeps the legs together, like so. Okay, so I'm going to lift up my hips, place the block underneath, so lower than the lower back, and straighten out my legs long. So you should be, can you see my feet? Yeah. So my feet are up on the block, my pelvis is up on the block, and my head and my shoulders are on the floor. Maybe I come on the little blanket for some extra. Oh yeah, that's better. So what we're doing here is we're in a variation of bridge pose. Yeah, supported bridge pose, which is technically an inversion, and also it's nice for the shoulders. So really try and let go of any last bit of clenching, holding, and try to imagine the blood and prana flowing down to your head, shoulders, heart, brain. Taking deep breaths. Any pain or pinching, come out of the pose. You know what to do. If you're maybe returning to this practice or to your yoga practice, you could try changing the blocks so they're higher up, or you could try using bolster cushions. Lots of ways to do this one. For these last 3 breaths, really try and fill up your tummy all the way down to the front of the hips, filling up. Fantastic. Let's bring the feet down. Lift up the pelvis and take away the block, or massage your lower back down. If you've got a strap, you can go and take that off. Perhaps you want to hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit side to side. Any organic movements that feel good, and we'll meet in Shavasana. Okay. So in Shavasana, arms by the sides, palms face up. Whole body relaxed. Now don't underestimate the importance of Shavasana. I recommend staying here for at least 3 to 5 minutes, if not longer. If you can, if you have the time, if your body feels up to it. And if you have something a little bit heavier, like a sandbag or some kind of heavier cushion or teddy bear or something, place that on the shoulders, the 2 shoulders. And as you're laying in Shavasana, feel the shoulders sinking down. I don't have anything to hand, so I'm just going to use my imagination. But great if you have a couple of sandbags. Or a friend who can gently push your shoulders down for you. Now, don't be too worried about what you need to do. You don't need to do anything. It's just important to come into Shavasana after practice to kind of give the muscles some time to learn what they've just practiced before you get up and continue moving and grooving throughout your day. A little pause. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you here relaxing. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I really hope you enjoyed this practice. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends and fibromyalgia communities. Take care. Namaste.